Hi there, welcome to your practice. We're going to be doing this one entirely from standing. If you have a wall, there's an option to use it just briefly later, but if not, don't worry about it. We're going to be working with back to basics in this practice, standing poses. And so I invite you to just start feeling the ground under your feet. So I'm just gently shifting forward and back, kind of moving my toes along the ground. I might shift side to side. We're just starting to remember, oh yeah, here I am on this earth. I'm starting to kind of tip back and forth between toes and heels. And I'm just sharing what I'm doing to give you some ideas. You can move around your feet however you like. Now I'm kind of making like a bit of a circle. If you're doing that, you might go the other way. And then we'll start to just bounce a little. If bouncing on both feet doesn't work for you, you can just kind of come up on one foot and then shift. So you're just rising up onto the ball of the foot, heel up, but not kind of fully coming onto the toes. So just again, just playing a little bit here. Letting the rest of the body be loose, get into it some. So a big part of standing poses is, and this maybe sounds like a no-brainer, but letting the ground support you. You'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't, to find out how often we're not letting the ground support us. Even though we are all in relationship with gravity, a lot of times we're sort of with our muscles holding ourselves up off the floor. And of course, we need our muscles and our bones as we're standing. But the more that we can let the ground support us, the more it lets all of us move. So we're going to slow this bouncing down, come back to center. Just pause here for a moment. I like to close my eyes. Maybe take a breath. And now you're going to come to the back of your mat. So I'm going to come to my side mat just so you can see a little better, but you can do either if you have to or just do the one you have. It doesn't matter. And we're going to begin a little walking meditation. We're just going to walk from one side to the other, from front to back. And so begin to shift into one foot. It doesn't matter which one. And we're really focused on going slowly. Here I've picked up my other foot. Let me pull my pants up a little. And then heel comes down. And you're rolling forward. Maybe you feel contact with ball of the foot, toes. Then the back heel can start to rise. You might feel more weight come into the front foot. And then as you're ready, back foot lifts. And you begin the process on the second side. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. What we're really trying to do is stay connected to the body, to sensation, remembering all the incredible and complex work that the feet do to support us. And this is also a nice way to just really land with yourself. And when you get to one end, or like me, run into your plant, then you'll turn around and you'll take the same level of attention. So I'm just taking my time pivoting around. And it's tempting, right? Like I really want to just like pick this foot up and turn it. And you know what? We're all going to do that. We're going to have moments where the mind kind of just bounces out to whatever else the mind is on. And it's important to remember that's not the moment of failure. It's easy for us to think that. What that is the moment that you're like, ooh, it's the invitation to call your attention back. So, being as deliberate on the way back as you were on the way there. As we're finishing this up, I'm just going to share this quote. The deeper your roots, the stronger your practice. And that's from Hilary Canavy and Dana Sturdivant in their great book, Body Trust, which I highly recommend. And they're talking about there your relationship with your body. And I think it's true of any form of practice. So when you are complete, you've gone from one side to the other, then we will make our way to the back. And we're going to drop, in the sense of, I guess, the pace, the walking meditation, but we're going to bring the intention, the reminder of it, into the rest of our practice. So at the back of the mat, I'd like you just for a moment to bring your feet closer together. Not to be all the way together, but just closer. Just notice how this feels in your body. So what we're starting to do is connect with your standing position. In yoga, sometimes this is called Tadasana or mountain pose. Now step your feet a little wider, about hip bone distance apart. I can kind of like dig my fingers in here and find my hip bones. And just notice, how does this feel? We're looking for, where do you still feel connected with the earth? Where can your feet really feel the ground? And where, if someone brushed past you, you are steady enough, you wouldn't just tip over. And then maybe step the feet a little bit wider. And even if you've done Tadasana 2 million times, and you kind of know this is where I usually am, it's still an interesting inquiry to check in. Like I'm noticing, I have just like a little shift from my usual that might feel a little more grounded for me today. And you can lift up all of your toes, press down under the ball of the toe, pinky toe, center of the heel. Let your toes down. And because this is a back to basics practice, we're really taking our time with this. And you can bring this level of just checking in, even if it's not the same amount of time, to any practice that you're doing, including just your everyday life, just checking in and being like, is this actually working for me? Like it's my pattern, it's my habit, but that doesn't mean it's working for me in this moment. Or maybe it does, but it's worth checking in. So from here, we're going to maintain our connection with the ground, have just a little micro bend in the knees. Sometimes it helps to just give like a super gentle wobble to remind the knees they don't have to lock. At least mine always need that reminder. And we're going to press through the feet. Inhale, take your arms up. And then when you get to the top, on an exhale, turn the palms out. Take the arms down. We're going to do 3 more, just going at your own pace. And as you do that, as you do your 3 more, I'm going to share another quote with you, which is some of the energy that we're bringing into this practice. So this is from Cheryl Pallant. Moving with somatic awareness is an inside-out looking. The emphasis is on proprioception and an intimate knowing of the emotions and mechanics of our body. I'll just pause and say proprioception is your sense of your body in space. The inside-out perspective runs into the history contained by our personal body. What occurs below consciousness is brought to the foreground. The difference between habitual movement, for which little attention is paid and open, consciously chosen movement is made clear. The latter way of moving opens us to choice. Moving with awareness ushers in insights, creative possibility, and new movement. And that is just what we were talking about, right? It's how do we stay with our bodies as we move so that we have, like this was saying, choice over how we meet ourselves. So when you're complete with your third round, you can bring your arms down if you haven't already. From that standing position, if you've shifted it in some way, you can come back. And we're going to turn the right toes out about 30 degrees. Bring hands to the hips, step the left foot forward a comfortable distance. Now, torso is going to turn and face the front of the mat. Now, little micro bend in that front knee. We're going to inhale, bend the front knee, exhale, straighten the leg. So front knee is not going past the front ankle. Knee is roughly in line with the second toe. And just as you go here, notice where it feels like this movement originates, like where is it starting? And what sensation, if any, you notice in your knee. Next time you're through the bent knee, we're going to hold it right here. If you feel steady, you can take your arms up overhead. And then we'll bring the arms on down. And one or more steps, step the back foot forward to meet. And then we're going to shift sides. So this time, keep your right foot forward, step the left foot back. Once it's back, turn the toes out, plant the foot. Here we go again. Torso faces the front. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, straighten the leg. So we're in an inquiry here. Where does it feel like this movement originates? What sensation, if any, do you feel in your knee? Again, the more times you have personally done Warrior One in your life, the more opportunities you have to really wake up here, because you have a habit you can fall into, which makes it sound bad. It's not bad, just routine. Or you can bring beginner's mind to it and really observe. Next time we're through the front bent knee, we're going to hold it right there. If you like, arms can come up overhead. And then we're going to bring hands to the hips in one or more steps. Step the back foot forward. Now, if the feet want a little break, you can shake them out. We're going to switch sides again. So this time we'll step the right foot back. Turn the toes out. Plant the foot. Now, this time, similar action, different line of inquiry. So this time, instead of bending the knee, we're going to send the front thigh, it's hard to get those letters right, front thigh forward and down. So it's front thigh goes forward. What happens? And so just notice, even if this is something you haven't tried before, what does it feel like? Where does it feel like this movement originates? What sensation, if any, do you feel in your front knee? Next time you're through the lower thigh, we're going to hold it right there. This time we're going to take the arms up. Inhale, take the arms wider into a V. Exhale, bring the arms back down behind you. They can just kind of swoop back. So move on your breath. Let's do 3 more. So when we're trying these little experiments, we're not looking for, oh, this one's better than that one. It's what's the one for, fill in the blank with your name, for Anna today. In one or more steps, we're going to bring the back foot forward. Pause. Feet want to break. Shake them out. Now, shift into the right foot, left foot steps back. Turn the toes out, plant the foot. Torso is facing front of the mat. Inhale, lower the front thigh. Exhale, straighten the leg. Same questions for noticing. You might notice other things too, like, what muscles feel engaged when I'm doing bend the knee versus lower the thigh? Do I notice any difference at all? Some of us may, some of us may not. Next time you're through the bent knee, you can hold it. We're going to take the arms up into a V. On your exhale, arms come back behind you. Let's do 3 more, following your breath. So what happens for some people with bend the knee is that the brain jumps into the knee. It feels like the movement is coming from the knee. It's initiating everything. And therefore, sometimes there's a little bit more sensation in the knee. Hands to the hips. 1 or more steps, back foot comes forward. And then let's take a moment here and flip the toes over. And then on lower the thigh, whether it's because it's just different and it causes you to slow down, or because it asks you to engage your quadricep, your muscle in the front of the thigh, a little bit more, it can feel like the movement is originating closer to the hip and a little less sensation in the knee. So for some of us, that's going to be helpful. Again, some of us may not even notice a difference. Or some of us might notice, when I was doing the bend the knee, actually my leg was more engaged. So that's what we're looking for, is how do we shore up our support? Okay, so we're going to step wide here, and this is where you might use the wall if you have one. So if you do, bring one foot, it doesn't matter which one, we're just going to call this the back foot. In contact, the heel is in contact, and the back toes are turned in about 30 degrees. You're going to step your front leg forward. Again, don't make a giant leap. This is not a giant leap for mankind that we're trying to do here. I'm going to do something sustainable for your body. You can always step your foot further if you need to later. Front leg and foot turn out. Toes are facing towards the top of that mat. Now this time, torso faces the long side of the mat. Hands are on the hips. So keep that heel in contact. And the purpose of this is to wake up the back leg, which has a tendency sometimes to kind of fall asleep here. So we're going to inhale, bend the knee or lower the thigh, whatever was resonating with you. And we don't want front knee to go past the front ankle. So I'm noticing I could have a little more space. There we go. Sometimes as you're checking in on alignment, the torso moves, that's fine. You can move it back. And then next time you're through that bent knee or lowered thigh, you can hold it right there. Back hand can come to the wall. Right arm forward. When you're ready, we're going to bring back hand to the hip, front hand to the belly. Move the belly to the middle. And we're going to fold over the front knee. So forearm comes above the knee, top shoulder rotates up and back. Again, back heel is pressing into the wall. That's engaging the back leg. Top arm comes out, up over the ear. Side angle. Top hand's going to come to the hip. Let's come up, turn the feet to parallel, and then 1 or more steps, set the feet together. Shake them out, flip over the feet, whatever you like. We're going to turn around to do the second side. So if you're using the wall, bring that back heel to the wall, turn the toes in. Front leg and foot, step out. Toes are facing the top of the mat. Hands to the hips. Inhale, bend the front knee, lower the front thigh. Exhale, straighten. Torso's facing long side of the mat. Noticing when you have the support of the feet, contact with the feet, the support of the wall, how that can help you. Bending through that front knee, hold there. Back hand can come to the wall, front arm forward. Turn the head, look forward. Now back hand to the hip, front hand to the belly. Fold over the knee. Keep that back heel in contact. If you feel steady, reach the top arm out over the top ear. When you're ready, come on up. Stand up. Turn feet parallel. Give the feet a little break. Now we're going to come to the back of the mat, whatever that is for you. I'm going to do it from the side so you can see a little bit better. We're going to turn the right toes out. We're going to revisit warrior one here. Step the left foot forward. Now, inhale, bend the front knee or lower the thigh. We're just going to hold here for a moment. Arms up. Now, rise up on the back toes. Step that back foot in until you can come to stand in the front leg. Now, feel that front foot with as much attention as when we were doing our walking meditation earlier. Gentle bend in the knee. We're going to just start to play with coming forward into warrior three. Coming towards, parallel with the ground, emphasis on towards. When you're ready, come on out. Give the feet a little break. Now, step the left foot back. Turn the toes out. Bend the front knee or lower the thigh. Arms up, warrior one. When you're ready, rise up on the back foot. Step that foot forward until you can stand fully into the front leg. Back toes get light. Maybe you stay with back toes in contact. Or start to tip forward any amount. When you're ready, come on out. Give the feet a little shake. Maybe just flip them over. And now we're going to step wide, this time without the wall. Turn your left toes in. Turn your right leg and foot out. Torso faces long side of the mat. Inhale, bend the front knee or lower the thigh. Check on your alignment, just breathing here. Now, as though you still had the wall, press that heel. Bring the arms up. Turn the head to look over the front fingertips. Now, why do we want to engage the back leg? Well, because let's turn, bring the hand to the belly, move the belly to the middle, fold over the front knee. When we don't have both legs supporting us, that means most of the work goes to the front leg. That has a tendency to make things harder on the front knee. It's doing more. Also the front leg, where you feel like, oh, when are we ever going to get out of this pose? Which is not to say you won't feel that way ever. But when we have both legs supporting us with the support of the ground, let's step our feet together, then it makes a really big difference in our standing poses. And it's a principle you can bring into all of your poses, really even balancing poses where we're only on one foot, because we're learning how to engage the foot and the leg and let that with the ground bring us up. Okay, let's step wide again. Now, right toes turn in, left leg and foot turn out. Hands to the hips. We're going to inhale, bend that front knee, lower the thigh. Check on your alignment. Turn the torso to face the long side of the mat. Arms up. Head can turn to look over the front fingertips. Back heel as though you're still pressing into the wall. And what that's doing is really just waking up the muscles, saying, oh, remember, please engage. Back hand to the hip, front hand to the belly, move the belly to the middle. Fold over the knee. Now, especially in a pose like this, where even our torso is in a front direction, it's tempting to have the back leg kind of like, be like, okay, front leg, you take it all. But this is where we need it more than ever. And when we use these principles in our practice, it helps support us for long-term practice because we're not pushing ourselves into injury, and we can also use these principles in our everyday life. When you're ready, coming to stand up, turn the feet to parallel, step the feet together. Okay. Flip the feet over, shake them out, whatever would feel good for you. Sometimes I like to just turn my toes under, kind of lean for a little toe stretch. And then we're going to come to the back of the mat. And then up to you. So take a moment here, feel the feet. Maybe rock a little forward and back. You can have arms by the sides. Or it might be nice to have one hand on the heart and or one hand on the belly. Just really rooting, feeling the ground supporting you. And we're going to revisit our walking meditation. This is going to be like our closing, moving Shavasana. Shifting into one foot, letting the other foot start to rise. And then gently bringing it down. Rolling through the heel, feeling ball of the foot, toes. Back heel starts to lift. So you're going to continue like this. We're again going to go forward and back. And I'm going to share a poem with you as you go. This is called Stone by Danusha Lamaris. And what am I doing here on the side of a hill, at the ragged edge of the tree line, sheltered by conifer and bay, watching the wind lift softly the dry leaves of bamboo? I lie on the ground and let the sun fall across my back, as I've been doing for the past hour, listening to the distant traffic, to the calls of birds I cannot name. Once there was so much I thought I needed. Now, all I know is that I want to get closer to it. The rocky slope, the orange petals of the nasturtium adorning the fence, the wind's sudden breath. Close enough that I can almost feel at night the slight pressure of the stars against my skin. Isn't this what the mystics meant when they spoke of forsaking the world? Not to turn our backs to it, only to its elaborate plots, its complicated pleasures, in favor of the pine's long shadow, the slow song of the grass. I'm always forgetting and remembering and forgetting. I want to leave something here in the rough dirt. A twig, a small stone, perhaps this poem. A reminder to begin again by listening carefully with the body's rapt attention. Remember? To this, to this. Let's just land there with the this of the body. If you like, you can join me in folding hands together in front of the heart. Take them up to the forehead. May I think of myself with kindness. To the eyes, may I see myself with compassion. To the mouth, may I speak to myself with love. And to the heart, to seal it in, we'll inhale and exhale. Thank you for practicing with me.